by posting on the bulletin board, town hall, and sending to the officially designated newspapers indicating that the meeting will take place at the community center at 6:30 p.m. on this date. Fire exits are located in the far right corner in the back and to my immediate left in the front. Per resolution 156-20, establishing rules of conduct and decorum for public meetings, please be advised of the following. All members of the public must step up to the designated public microphone, state for the record the name, and before addressing the name, that's all. Roll call.
Councilman Hurley.
Here.
Councilman McDonald.
Here.
Councilman Slattery.
Here.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Council President Kirk. Here.
Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Count approval of minutes for the regular meeting, January 11th, 2024, the special meeting, January 15th, 2024, the regular meeting, January 25th, 2024, and the budget meeting, February 3rd, 2024.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? I have two pieces of correspondence, which I received from Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, addressed to Council President Melissa Burnside and Council Member Pat McDonald. I want to extend my sincere congratulations as you were sworn in as Council President and Council Member for the Borough of Rockaway. Public servants play an essential role in advocating for our communities and ensuring all residents have a voice. I am deeply grateful for the dedication and sacrifice of the exceptional public servants in New Jersey's 11th Congressional District. As we face the opportunities and challenges of the year ahead, I look forward to working together to support Rockaway Borough. I wish you the best of luck as you embark on this term in office. Congratulations again, and please don't hesitate to reach out if I ever can be assistance. Happy New Year, and I wish you the very best as you take office. Sincerely, Mikey Sherrill, Member of Congress.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Council reports. Councilman Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor, fellow council members, and our members of the public tonight. We'll start the Finance Committee off with our accounts payable. I move that the bills presented to the Borough of Rockaway for payment by the Borough as evidenced by proper vouchers be referred to the committee or unit contracting for same, and when endorsed by them and approved by appropriate action of council, that they are to be paid.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you. Just briefly, as a reminder to all, we have our second budget meeting coming up this Saturday, 9 a.m. right here at this location. This Saturday, we will be hearing from our tax assessor, our fire marshal, fire chief, and our police chief to review their proposed 2024 budgets. For council business, I attended finally land use board meeting on Tuesday night. Heard a application and presentation by Starbucks Corporation, a very well done presentation. They went through what they intend to do for the TD Bank that has been abandoned now for a number of years, and convert that into a retail Starbucks with a drive-through, inside seating and outside seating, and the inclusion, correct me if I'm wrong, they said 600 plantings, right?
It was broken up into grasses and trees and plantings, but yeah, it's a lot, if I may.
Yeah.
It was the best presentation I've ever seen in all that I have ever seen in all the years that I've been on the land use board. They were concise, it flowed, there wasn't a single dot or T that they did not answer and just fill in without us asking anything. It was really just smooth and amazing. I don't know who that guy was, Mr. Henry. Somebody should write a letter. I meant to tell him how well. It was awesome. It was awesome. Not one skipped one beat. It was a perfect presentation. And they're gonna make it beautiful. It's gonna be nice. I understand there's people on Facebook or wherever that are like, no. You know what? Then come to the land use board meetings and the council meetings and complain what you don't want. But, we get in trouble. That's what it's zoned for. And it's gonna be stunning.
Yeah.
So, sorry, but.
Perfect location for that. They have a couple of little, few items that they just have to finish up. One has to do with traffic flow and a removal of a triangle for flow direction. One sign out on Route 46 that they're going to keep the main side trim some trees, but,
Do they have an ETA for grand opening when they're?
no, they don't, they just said they wanna get started quickly, so.
3 months after they break ground.
Yeah, but it'll be a nice addition to the borough and a really nice addition to the offerings that we have in the borough for,
Reusing, repurposing something.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Awesome.
So, that was there, and, oh, just a note, and I guess for everybody here, thanks for, again, all coming. Traditionally, the historical committee had offered a program where we would engrave memorial blocks and put them over at the memorial park in front of the small gazebo next to the library. Unfortunately, we can no longer do that. We've had issues with the vendor, trying to procure a vendor. The one that we had for, I don't know, over a dozen, 2 dozen years, obviously has changed hands, and we had quite a difficulty trying to get a couple of bricks engraved that were on order. But then we were notified that, in a nice way, that they really weren't that interested in pursuing that any longer. So we are, as a committee, going to look at alternate vendors for that, but in the meantime, we're gonna suspend that program for applications for any future memorial works.
You should talk to Joe Solomon.
Yeah, well, we have a subcommittee going out and looking at that right now. And that's my report, Mayor, thank you.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Hurley.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Councilman Smith.
Good evening, Mayor, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have no report for the police this evening. I just have a follow-up question again about the New Street in the building.
I had that in my report, so do you want me to give it to you now?
I'd love to hear it.
Okay. So, 58 East New Street went to court. They paid $500 and $250 fines totaling $500 plus court fees. They provided the name of the company handling the cleanup. Some of the debris has been removed, some of the debris has to stay there until some insurance investigation is done, and the construction did post a order to vacate on the building. He doesn't feel it needs to be, he doesn't feel it's an unsafe. So order to vacate, no one can be in it. 114 Beach Street, they adjourned again in Rockaway Township Court. This is the first time they were in Rockaway Township Court, so they set a special hearing for February 16th, and no rescheduling will be permitted by the court. And then I just have one other, 503 West Main, just one update while I'm on there. It was heard last week, and they are requesting a trial.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That's all I wanted to know.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Smith.
Motion.
Be it patted.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Councilman Stockmeyer.
Evening, Mayor, Council, Presidents. This past Tuesday, being the mayor, we both attended the Memorial Association meeting. It's beginning, the parade's being in progress. So we're already contacting some of the participants from last year to get this off the ground. Also, people don't know, we also do an essay program throughout the schools. So that's also in progress. We work with schools, Divine Mercy and TJ, to let the 8th graders get their feelings what Memorial Day is all about. But we pick a different topic every year. So I'm looking forward to it, looking for a good day.
So we give them a topic to write about? Or?
Yeah, we change the topic every year. So it could be one day what's Memorial Day about, or it could be the meaning of the American flag, or one year we had the, what was in mind, how it was installed, why it was installed. So that's what we run our topics on. We let them choose the fashion what they want to write in. So that's Memorial Day. So it was a short meeting, but it was productive, very moving. Along with that, ordinance meeting. We're going to have one on the 12th at 4:30. That's next Monday. We have a lot of topics to go over. We're going to talk about some trees, parking, soil disturbances, squatting issues. So it's going to be a busy Monday afternoon. Along with that, also next week is environmental committee meeting. This is open to the public. Everybody thinks that the environmental committee just does a river cleanup. They do so much more. We do so much more. You know, they search for grants. They just try to protect the environment, not just the river, but the streets and everything else. So that's all I have there for tonight. Thank you.
Thanks. I think also that came out of that meeting, Memorial Day meeting, was, suggestion about memorializing some of our veterans on flags, banners, something like that you've seen in countless other towns, and, so I know they're looking into that, trying to get a list, trying to reach out to the
You're
family.
absolutely right. I didn't bring that up because I'm still working on it.
Exactly.
So I actually
It's a work in
spoke to
progress.
I need a size of the banners, because I have a vendor I already spoke to see how much they cost. So we'll talk about memorializing local residents, vendors, like other towns do. It's time. We need to show support of the families, if veterans have families. That's the whole plan.
And then part of that is, reaching out to the families and,
Yeah, there'll be a record form, we'll be advertising, people have to purchase their banners, so not purchasing, the family has to purchase the banner to hang on poles. That's the plan. Hopefully it gets off the ground. Hopefully it's 2025. Other towns do it, I think it's time we start showing some pride on it. So, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
motion to accept report of Councilman Slackbauer,
Motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor? Councilman McDonald?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. No official report tonight, but this, our next recreation meeting is on Tuesday, February 27th, 7 p.m. here in the community center. So we actually like to have some additional public people to the meeting, so I just want to give everybody an update on that. We'll have more information on upcoming spring programs coming up in the summer second. So anybody has anything for the rec? Okay, that's it.
Motion to accept report of Councilman McDonald,
Motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Report of the Council President.
Thank you. The next Board of Health meeting will be on Tuesday, February 13th. Next week it will be a virtual meeting. I met last night with a subcommittee in the fire department around incentives to promote recruiting and retention, and I think that we have pretty much finalized everything. I will highlight kind of the rundown of the items, but then look for further discussion at our budget meeting on Saturday. But we're looking to increase LoSAP, which will require a resolution. I'd also like us to include in that resolution that we automatically increase LoSAP by the cost of living adjustment that's determined by the state each year, because we've gone from 21, 22, and 23 without making any adjustments, where those increases each year range from 3.5% to 7.8%, and I'd like us to just keep it current.
That's up to a maximum of, right?
There is a max,
Right, so
but
we
we're
have
not
a max.
anywhere near the max.
Well, I meant, we were discussing doing the increments up until we hit the max, that's
Right.
what we want the resolution to
Right,
say.
which will take us a while, because, so for 2024, we'll be at $942.56. There are other towns that are $1,200, so. We're talking about an increase to clothing allowance, waiving dog and cat licensing fees, waiving beach badge fees, waiving the minimum quarterly payment for sewer and water. We can't do anything with taxes right now because the bill that was sitting out there failed and a new bill has been submitted, so we'll need to wait till that passes at the state level. And we're also looking at doing some reimbursement for firefighter 1 and firefighter 2 training. So more to come, we'll discuss it again on Saturday, but just wanted to put that out there. Last evening, the fire department met for their monthly meeting. They took the following actions. They scheduled drills for February 21st and 28th, and they also approved a 3-month absence for Rob Smith. Will someone make a motion to approve the actions of the fire department?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Motion to accept report of Council President Burnside,
Motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Attorney?
Good evening, everybody. Very briefly, there's the developer's agreement with the RPM property on the agenda for tonight for approval. The only outstanding items on that is we're just waiting for our engineer to finalize the bonding numbers. The agreement is specific as to that, but just to insert the calculation of the amounts and the comments from the developer. Otherwise, everything is in final form, and as soon as we get that back, we'll be ready to finalize that document. The only other item I had to report on I think it's a little bit premature and it might be covered by the mayor's comments, so I think I might elaborate further at a future meeting.
And I'd just like to compliment and thank our attorney. The developer's agreement is one of the most comprehensive and thorough documents I've seen. This covers everything from A to Z. And as we move forward with other developments, this document will, I think is a great thing to protect our borough and the developer, but also has contingencies written into it should certain things occur. Attorney Bell has really used a lot of foresight in looking at every ingredient and morsel. And I just want to thank you for going through this kind of a document, because as we move forward, and we always know it all looks great from the beginning, but when you run into a problem is usually where we end up having to butt heads. This covers it, so thank you, Mr. Bell.
I appreciate the councilman's kind words, but I think there's always room for improvement, and I think the borough should think of that as a start and an evolving document. So if along the way in any other projects or just thoughts that people have, if there are things that, you know, I sort of have a form document now that we can build off of, so if things come up or things are unaddressed, we can plug that in and we can build it into our standard form, and this way we're covered. So, you know, don't hesitate if anybody ever has any, you know, changes or comments or other items that, you know, may or may not have been covered or adequately covered.
Great job.
Motion to accept report of the attorney?
Motion.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
For the mayor. So DPW took advantage of some good weather this week and spent time along Jackson Avenue River, you know, cleaning up from a couple of the storms that we've had over the past couple months. So they got certainly a lot more work to do, but they did get a start on it to start cleaning up that park a little bit. All right, yesterday, myself, our administrator, and our attorney met with the warehouse developer attorneys in Mr. Bell's office. So basically, the topic of discussions was certainly our interest in the actual property that the warehouse is planning to develop. As I mentioned before, Rockaway Borough owns a 1.3 acre tract of land that abuts the warehouse property. So we're working with them on jurisdiction and, you know, certainly anything else that we can, you know, discuss or hold back, you know, with this warehouse. And we also talked certainly about traffic impact in that area. Certainly you know, with the tractor trailers coming up and, you know, the county planning committee, you know, had met a while back, and basically the developer had done a very inadequate job of their traffic impact study, just focusing on Dock Road and Vanderbilt Ave, which is basically two horse and carriage streets that this warehouse will be going down. But they completely ignored Rockaway Borough's streets as well as Rockaway Township, as they have a game too, because basically all the traffic coming off Route 80 onto Green Pond Road, coming into the borough. So it's a bit complex. So we are working with them to expand their traffic impact study. And then as part of that, you know, today, myself, the administrator from Rockaway Township, the engineer from Rockaway Township, along with the county engineer, the head of the county planning committee, as well as Commissioner Steve Shaw met today to talk about traffic onto the county roads. You know, basically Route 80 dumps out onto 513, which is a county road, and all the traffic coming through Rockaway Borough eventually, you know, ends up on a county road also. So basically, we're working together to once again with traffic impact and trying to get a better report on that. But you know, it kind of, as far as ordinance, you know, what we're gonna have to do is obviously look closer on those roads and as part of that traffic impact, and you know, things that we can do to mitigate traffic in that area, so we are working on that. But as part of that, I do need a closed session for potential litigation. That's it. Motion to accept the report of the mayor,
Motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Former administrator,
I have no report.
you already gave it.
Oh, I met Melissa, I met you, and you guys all took care of it.
Report of our clerk,
Just one quick item for me, in addition to the ordinances that Councilman Softfire mentioned, I'm also working with the borough engineer on the stormwater control and tree removal ordinances that are being mandated by DEP in the next few months. And that's it.
okay, motion to accept the report of the clerk,
Motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Couple resolutions, consent agenda. 44-24, authorized submission of an application to the Morris County Community Development Block Grant Program. 45-24, approve participation in the Safe and Secure Communities Program. 46-24, authorize the execution of a developer's agreement between the Borough, Rockaway, and West Main Street Urban Renewal Associates LLC and/or RPM Development Group. Have a motion?
Motion to approve the resolutions in the consent agenda commencing with 44-24 and inclusive and through 46-24.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Hurley.
Yes.
Councilman McDonald.
Yes.
Councilman Softfire.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Council President Brennan.
Yes.
I'd like to open the meeting to the public.
Good evening, do I have to do this? Okay, not like you can't hear me. I just wanted to, make sure that we're still on for the 28th in Denville.
Yes, we are.
Okay, the second thing was, Patty or Kim, could you ask the zoning officer to go out and check, trees being cleared behind the old house by the cement place? So you got the cement place, and then you go out towards 46, and he bought a house. The part of that property is an abandoned house. Did he get a permit for that?
That's, it's already being addressed, that's what Smith, we've already sent
Okay.
communication to.
We already sent communication to them. That would be the engineer.
Oh, the engineer?
Yeah.
Okay, so he needs a permit, et cetera, or something? He shouldn't be getting a pass because he gave us cement or something.
Oh, no.
No.
He was sent a document from the engineer.
Okay, thank you. That's it, thanks.
Thank you.
Kim Rose, Walnut Place. I guess two things. First one is, the website calendar's not working. If somebody just wants to check that, that'd be great. Second thing is,
Sorry, the website calendar.
yeah, the
So-
website calendar's down.
There's like not the meeting schedule, but there is that like side, like that,
It's a link up in front of the.
yeah, it was pulled on purpose, I believe, because something wasn't, Gene pulled it down, or something.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
Thank you. The other issue that I had was, I think it's Rockaway Repair or Rockaway Service, I can't remember what the name is, it's, right on Main Street down from Mount Pleasant. There is an extreme amount of cars parking there all the time, to the point where you can't move around. There are many, cars, I counted 5 the last time, that had no plates on it. And yesterday, what really got me to the point that I'm bringing it up today is as I was driving home, it was so crowded, there was a car parked on the sidewalk with its 2 tires on the main street. Now, I know people convert,
Across from that magic carpet place with the red
Yes.
carpet? Okay.
there are people that traverse that area going home from school all the time, and they'd have to step out into the road. It's been a problem, and I think somebody needs to address that. I mean, you cannot move. There's not room for any cars because the whole place is littered with cars, to the point that they're outside on the road. So, if somebody could just address that.
No, absolutely, the congestion, absolutely will check, but as far as cars with no license plates, they do have a license to sell vehicles there,
Really,
so
yeah.
that's why you might see some vehicles with no
Okay.
license plates.
But still, it's just,
No, absolutely, I
Lot.
agree, yeah.
the other thing is the Environmental Commission, I think, has moved to quarterly meetings, for this year, so our next meeting is in April. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
And we have scheduled the May 18th.
Yeah, the monthly things we're going to be doing on May 18th, just to let you guys know. We'll reach out to you with a little bit more information. It's probably gonna be the same in line as what we've always done. Okay.
And then we'll take a look to, May 18th, I know something about, maybe we still have to talk about clean communities, something like that with some of the cleanups that we do as part of that, if we do it earlier than that, or, so, but there's a lot of stuff there, so I think,
Yeah.
more than one effort to,
I'm just trying to get through budget right now.
no, we're not setting it, but it's something that, we've done.
Why?
And I have one more thing, on the resolution 45-24, Safe and Secure Communities Program, can you elaborate a little bit on what that's all about?
So every year we get a grant that, it's money that goes towards a police officer, salary. I believe it's Lieutenant Richardson's salary, and there are a site, they put out, I'm trying to think of how, there's a criteria of stuff that they do, and for safe and secure community. And because he does all these different functions, that they give us a grant towards his salary.
Like, what kind of functions does it do?
I don't know off the top of my head.
His job, I think it's part of his salary for his job.
No, it's part of his salary, but yeah, but it's, I think like, I wanna say something again, I would have to go back, but I think it was like something about like bike safety and stuff like that and
Okay.
whatever, so, again, I haven't written the grant for this year, like, I wait for Conrad writes the grant, and then, I then transfer it and send it out, so, but it's basically just working out with the communities and stuff and.
Like, I did a bike rodeo at one point, did they?
We get this every year,
Okay.
it fluctuates, it actually went down to $15,880 the last couple of years, but they actually went back up to 20, going up a little bit to 21,000 and change this year, so.
Okay, so it's basically a police officer who does community.
It's in our budget, if you look when you do our budget, we have a grant line, and it's a grant that you'll see that will help offset police salaries.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Wendy Mattel from Mount Pleasant and Angela Mattel. On a good note, good evening, everyone. I worked this week with a group of residents from the town on the season's greetings as per our conversation last time. And we came up with a few really neat pictures of what we can what we can make for our future signs, which someday may be historic for the next generation. But anyway, we came up with a really nice thought. If we hang the Welcome to Rockaway right across the river, and then we interchange, for instance, in October, we put pumpkins on each side. For Memorial Day, flags on each side, but we keep with the theme of Welcome to Rockaway Borough. So I would like to just pass out some of the drawings that, thoughts that we had for approval, because spring is right around the corner, and my husband has agreed to to supply all the wood or all the metal, whatever we choose to do, and I have, one of the residents on the committee is gonna make stencils of everything that was approved. And we can then get volunteers to come. We'll also supply the paint and have a painting party. And so we thought, the sooner we can get this done and approved, the faster we can, get that going so that we can put it up right in time for spring.
No, it sounds like a great idea, that I think falls right in line to what, we've been discussing, some of your thoughts, and, it makes it easier, right? So you have the one sign, and then if you put the theme stuff on each side, it just makes it.
Exactly. And we figured we have plenty of room for it. Actually, I did realize that we were low on ink, so everything looks pink, but we will not have pink pumpkins or pink hearts. They will be red. And we also chose violets for the flowers for the spring one, because we figured violet is New Jersey's state flower. So that would be a nice touch. And does everyone have a copy? And as you can see, the sun is pink, but it will be orange. And we also decided that it might be nice to interchange, even putting the carriage, our historic carriage up as one of, so it'll appear to be just like the Season's greeting signs. You know, one letter for each, or one sun, one flag, one flower. And I even thought for 4th of July, we can take a flag and a firework. So, you know, they can be interchanged like, you know, like a wardrobe of clothes can be interchanged.
So what happens to season's greetings?
Oh, well,
That's for
for
December.
Oh, yeah, that's for December. That is, you know.
Oh, so you got season's greetings and then you put the snowflakes on both
Right,
sides of it.
or we can also, you know, the season's greeting signs start in like the week before Thanksgiving and they're down by January, but, you know, we can throw some snowflakes up if they come down earlier. You know, we'll just have them on hand so that we can, you know, once we have everything, we can play around with it. As long as it's approved, you know, then we can, you know, work with what we have there. So, we're hoping that maybe by the next meeting, everything could get approved and we can begin to start work on it. If that's a possibility, do you think?
Absolutely, I mean, like I said, this falls right into what we had discussed already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as, you know, welcome to Rockaway Borough, I think that's a nice generic, and, I mean, does anybody have comments regarding this, or looking at it, or,
That's nice.
you
Yeah,
know, things like that?
and it'll be much nicer when they're all done and they're the proper colors. So,
I do have one question.
sure.
Comment. The attachment, that's the only concern, because we had the issue with the letter, you're on the event you're looking for a letter R. That's
Right,
it, you gotta figure out a better attachment. That's the biggest problem.
The attachment worked forever, it just needed to be updated.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
The material,
Bigger cable, right? So,
well, the cable's different, but the attachments on the signs work for
So we
50
gotta
years.
put better
You just-
attachment.
No, you just gotta replace the ones that are
That's
there,
right.
they're old and
That's all.
tired.
So, we gotta look at it, not a big deal.
yeah, that's
So,
not a
yeah,
problem.
Will the Rockaway Borough fit, or are you gonna make that get the smaller, letters a little smaller?
This
No,
is
no,
the
no,
actual
they'll be the
size of
same
the letters.
size, because really, there's only five more letters.
Okay.
And
Just
then
like a lot.
the 2 inserts. And you know what, if it looked like too much, don't forget, nothing's, you know, set in stone, we can always play around with it and change things. You know, if we had to, maybe just put up one set of hearts, you know, it all has that interchangeable factor, which is.
I don't think anything's going up in February, so.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
Let's start with,
So we're
let's start with the spring
we're gonna
flowers.
work for the spring, like, we were thinking like April, make that a basic goal. But, you know, getting everything together, making the stencils, and we figured while we're doing it, we'll just get a group and just do everything in one shot. You know, as much as we can get done. So, I'm thinking,
Are we
so,
still staying with wood, we're not going metal, or
It's whatever it is, you know.
is it
I
wood?
don't know, what do you know, we were talking about that.
I think what he called like the wood versus, well, metal, it may not be that much of a difference in weight. And to clarify, like the cables itself, that capacity is a 2-ton cable. So we didn't wanna jinx it by over tightening, and I had that tensioner on there, so we didn't wanna go gung-ho crazy. Like if you're saying maybe the cable is underrated, it was not underrated.
What about AZAC?
Huh?
What about AZAC?
I would wait, I mean, I'm open to everything, you know what I'm saying?
You know the material. I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
I work with AZAC all the time.
Right,
I mean,
because if you use that, then you just, it's already white,
Yeah.
forever, and then you just gotta etch in with a primer, whatever you put on it, it's lighter than wood, lighter than metal.
No, I
it'll never
agree,
rot.
if it's lighter, you know, I would go with that, you know.
But it'll never rot.
Exactly.
So, just for clarification for us, or for me maybe, there's residents that are gonna donate this to the town? Okay.
Well, actually, Angela will supply all the materials, residents will donate their time to help us.
Yeah, but once
think
you're
about-
all done with it, then you'll make the donation to the
Oh,
town?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, we're
yeah.
not gonna keep it too big for our house.
But that's a very good idea with AZAC itself, I mean, I agree. The only thing we have to do is make sure, like with AZAC, clamping it
You
on,
have to, yeah.
you know, that's the only thing, because that can, like, with the weathering, can like wear through,
I said
so.
you have to
But I'm open
I
to
think you
that,
have to press it through, like go down a little ways with a hole, press it through,
Yes.
and come up.
yeah, but I'm open to that, it's already good.
Even a polyvinyl panel with the
Yeah.
shit, you know what I'm talking about, the extra thing. But it's like, it's similar to AZAC.
Well, we'll be open to all
Yeah, it's
ideas.
just an idea. It's
Yeah.
it's definitely later than wood and will never rot, and
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about it turning.
but let's remember when.
It doesn't absorb moisture either.
Yeah, but when we did those letters, that was the first time we seen those letters. So I mean, like, what, there was a couple dog clips we had to replace before that, so it was like, listen, this river thing's all new to me, like, when that thing raised up, whatever, the water, that's all new to me itself, but, it's trial and error. And the thing, you were saying, you did a cutting card for the trees itself, or I believe you talked about,
For the counties.
Oh, okay.
so what I would
We didn't do
suggest.
anything.
No, we didn't ask for it.
Well,
The county told us that they were
Okay.
gonna be taking trees down, they didn't tell us which ones.
And did they say why? Are they diseased or are they,
They came.
because that's
They came
actually
once, yeah.
the other concern we wanted to know, make sure that our tree, the one with the
They
cable.
came, I don't know if they're complete, we will confirm with them if they are complete with their cutting, that I will confirm.
Because the suggestion is like, let's say that tree, they say, okay, this tree gotta come down. Why not leave it like 15 or 20 feet high, just cut it, and now it's already a pole itself.
Well, I think that's the county's call.
They came
not
over,
ours.
they came, they
That's true.
But
They're not gonna take that tree.
they wouldn't take that tree. And also too, the erosion that would come from taking, a tree of that caliber down would be bad.
So,
Well, we'll confirm.
I'm okay as presented. Councilman Slackbauer,
I'm fine with it.
Councilman McDonald?
Yeah, so just, what about like nighttime, any plans with like lights long term? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm thinking long term, like, are you thinking,
That's another one.
I'm just saying you are.
Can we get through this?
Well, it's part of it, yeah, I'm okay with that, I just wanna make sure we're covered with that.
I like you.
No, I mean, I just wanna make sure we do it right, we do it right.
No, we told them at the last meeting that we were working on the writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something maybe you wanna talk about too, and then, we can do that at the same time,
Councilman
things
Hurley?
like that.
Councilman Hurley?
How far is it from the tree to the post?
When I had to do that, I bought, I wanna say, I don't know, it was about 110 feet or about 100 feet, because I remember I had to I bought like 300 foot of rope to help pull the cable, and one of my guys had told me we only needed one line, not two at the time. So,
No, you don't
I'm gonna
need to
ask,
do that.
you have to remember when you pull,
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know, because if you do this plus a 24-inch panel on either side, you've got approximately 50 feet, and if you wanna put 8 to 10 inches between it, I just wanted to make sure that you weren't gonna have the signs, the panels
yeah,
lifted up. So you've got about 60, 65 feet of, if you're using Welcome to Rockaway Borough plus a panel on either side, plus spacing in between each one, just as long as it doesn't hit where you begin to slope.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fine idea.
and we have to remember, the other line that was there, why it maybe wasn't as much of a sag, that could never go through a pulley, because that was like a fixed line itself. But believe it or not, that line is less strong than compared to what we're using. So we're using like an airline craft, cable, so that holds a lot more weight. But like I said, we don't know, could this break or that break, so don't overpower at the time. And that was like, that was right before Christmas, what we're gonna do.
On the 28th, the 27th or 28th, when are we open? The last Sunday of the month. Come to the museum, because I have this in the original line.
Oh, yes, that's what the other thing was.
You can take it to a lithographer and they can blow it up, and then you can stencil that into
Perfect.
one of the panels, but I have the original for the borough.
Perfect, thank you, that was actually on my list there. Perfect, so,
Councilman Hurley?
Yeah, good.
Councilman Smith?
Yeah.
Council President?
Looks great.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
generosity.
the people are gonna love it, 'cause they're very happy about this, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Your water?
And on a different note, I have something different. recall, we've talked about this for over a year with the building in the back itself. So I got the Oprah. Now, I'd like to say like why you're having issues over there. And I had scaled it for the DPW building over there. Actually, you have a set of plans. I don't know who's constructing this or reading them, but you actually missed another retaining wall by 34.5 feet. And drain piping by Samantha itself, you missed 313 feet not installed. That's like the size of a football field. So basically, that's why there's no drainage back there. And for me, I always knew you needed the drainage itself, and under the DCA codes, you need to have drainage back there. So, I mean, how are we gonna address that?
So let's, we'll take your comments, obviously, if you can email me your specific comments with.
Well, I don't have, these are the plans. These are the plans
Right, for me to
itself.
go back to the engineer.
But you don't have to go to the engineer because you have, who's doing the work? Is it the
Well,
town?
No, right, but I'll go to the engineer to look at that and comment back, and then obviously if there's additional work that needs to be done, we have to, I can't just go to DPW and just say, you know, I just need.
But how do we miss that? That's the question. I mean, you're talking about maybe, who knows, like $25,000 to $30,000 that you missed on this.
But it's something that I do wanna go back to the engineer and obviously to address those comments and additional work that needs to be done, then
Yeah.
we could write those additional specs.
And the
Right.
engineer can't not bypass the DCA codes itself.
Correct.
So they can't bypass that. But the other hand itself, you put up like a pole barn itself. So what's the longevity of that? They say 40 to 60 years if you maintain it. You're not maintaining it if the water's coming to it. You know, the red flag was when the, what do you call, the sandbags were there. I've never seen sandbags like that in my life. Sandbags are when there's a mistake. So that, you know, and then the other hand, we're talking about like the library itself. I don't know why that became like a dumping facility, what's gonna be there in the future, or what they're thinking of.
Well, as far as dumping the soil there,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that's where we're dumping some soil and,
so I researched, cause I've been a contractor my whole life. To give like a good deal itself to the town, you can get that material. I can get a truck, a company. If let's say what should be done is that dirt shouldn't be dumped over there, it should really, so let's say you dump it here. You call the company that I use, that's a friend of mine, for $350 per load. You load it up, they take it away. So I mean, over there you have what, asphalt mixed in there. The first thing you have to do is remove the asphalt. You still have asphalt over there. And then there's no silt fence over there. So now, this last rain we had, you're above 10,000 square feet of disturbance itself. If what do you call the DEP went over there, soil conservation went over there, I looked it up, it's over a $50,000 fine. So what I'm looking at is like, there's no evil, I think there's lack of knowledge. And we can't go back to the engineer and say, I know they put a tracking pad over there for the stone wise itself, but you need a silt fence over there. Now, after this last rain, I measured it, you are actually 99 feet away from the water. You're supposed to be over 200 feet. So now, how do we correct that? The town doesn't have the right machinery to what you call recoup that. And the third thing of all, Crestwood Drive. Now we talked about, oh, the town. This is engineering. And you know I've done drainage work, was right across from your house when it was like, those customers, residents were feuding with each other.
Right.
You had a town lawyer there, they told me, it was like, they were going to court with each other. When I had to do that job, they told me this is what had to be done. I was like, you're still gonna have problems. I did it my way, there's not a drop of water coming to the street. So again, I did the Oprah on Crestwood Drive itself. And it's quite interesting over there when you see it. On that Oprah, the sketch, it calls for perforated pipe to be dug 2 feet down. In the road, it's solid pipe. So I think Samantha did good drawings, but the problem is that if you're gonna execute the water problem, you have to execute where the water problem is. So now you brought the water into the road and you used the wrong pipe, because she wrote on there perforated pipe, the contractor used it solid pipe. So now the other question is, like, you had the engineer inspector there. We know he didn't catch it. What are the plans for? You know? And now, if you remember when I told you about the 40 yards of dirt that was sitting by the catch base. So I was reading that Oprah thing itself for Crestwood. It states on there by Samantha, dirt has to be loaded to the truck and taken away. And they left it there. Shouldn't be by there at all, by the drain boxes itself. Now that you move the dirt over there, it states again, when you're stockpiling it, you have to use silt fence, hay bales to contain the dirt materials itself. Again, I'm not saying the town, that's engineering default right there. Now, I do this because I build roads and I build houses for a living, so this is why I know all this. But I need the opportunity, when Billy told me they were gonna do drainage on that job, I was like, I'm quite interested to see how they're gonna do this. So, what they did was, on the plan it calls 18 inches away from the curb line. They performed it at 29 to 30 inches. The water problem is here, it's not here. If you drive by, you'll still see the water still coming out the street. So that's a, it's a poor design itself. And that's why, like, no perforated pipe, she called for perforated pipe, they used solid pipe. That means the inspector didn't do his job, even though the contractor didn't do it right. Now, these are things I'm not looking for. All my jobs are in a 5-mile radius in Rockaway. So I'm like, sometimes like 5 times a day, I pass here, pass there, pass there. These are small things. But that, to me, would have to be ripped out and re-corrected itself. And I know we're gonna go in a circle, you're gonna talk to the engineer, but, I mean, this is like a rodeo itself. That building, the library, Crestwood, that's not professional grade itself, because nobody's reading the plans itself.
I will be addressing this, and I will get back to you directly.
I'm 57 years old. At 16 years old, I've never done what has been done like this. I mean, I want to help the town, but you can't say it's in our hands itself. I never said to the town, I'll give my advice, I'll charge you. The engineer's charging you, you're paying the employees, so all this work that's been showing, it's all incorrect. So, I mean, how do we correct it? I mean, I don't mind staying by them, saying this is what we need to do, but you need, like, leadership itself.
Right. No, like I said, I'll get back to you directly on each one of the issues that you brought up.
But the thing is, really, that library, you need to address that, I would say, tomorrow. And the reason why I say this, if the soil conservation and DEP went over there, like I said, look it up, it's a $50,000 fine right there. I mean, you are so close to the water, the erosion. The asphalt is exposed right there. That's all I'm asking, is these things to be done professional itself. And I talked to Billy and, I think his hands are tied. That's what I think it is.
Right. I'll continue to look into this, and I will get back to you directly on each
Okay.
one of the issues that you brought up.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public?
Just Quick question, what time is the meeting in Denville on the 28th?
7:30. Bring your neighbors.
Well, I'm sure they'll want to come.
Actually, I would like to give you this, and I don't believe it's gonna be the plan itself is very clear. That's the wall, and that's the double drainage that she has there. And when you add this drainage all through there, it's 313 feet, I scaled it out for you. And then this wall here. And that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments from the public?
I just have one. I have a quick question. Who's doing the inspection on these jobs?
The engineer's supposed to have final sign off.
Going out and physically looking and checking the jobs? It would seem that whoever's dumping behind the library with asphalt and stuff was not checking. And who told them to dump there without the silt fence or the bales of hay?
Right, so it's basically, going back on the engineer.
Thank you.
No other comments from the public? Close the meeting to the public. Motion to go into close.
Motion to go with